Hi Facebook, this is Murielle, Sunday morning here in Las Vegas. I'm gonna try to read the comments on my computer because it's too small on my phone. This is an episode of Croissant and Empowerment. Like every Sunday morning, that's the third in a row. We are talking about subjects that can to empower you at 9 o'clock Pacific time, and I'm gonna adjust this camera because it's not trying to reconnect. Okay, so welcome replay viewers. Like I said, this is Croissant and Empowerment. I already have my coffee here on a Sunday morning. I thought we may have coffee together, that could be nice, and talk today about improving your relationships. So I may wait a little bit for people to join. I don't know, I put an event invite, but I'm doing it from my professional page this weekend, and I usually do it from my personal page, so I hope it won't create a problem. And so relationships. The first thing I wanted to say about relationships is that we don't change anyone. I know it's a bummer for people who got married and thought that the little shortcoming of their partner, their husband or wife, they would change them later. But people, that's an illusion. We don't change anyone, and people don't change for us. They change when they are ready to change. So the only control we have in relationships is to change ourselves, change our perception, and change the way we approach them. I'm not sure if I'm live because I'm trying to see on my computer here. Wait a minute. Yeah, it says live. I'm gonna go to my... Oh, that's strange. Nobody's... I don't know if you have to like the page to be able to see it. I don't think so, but just in case. So what can we do to have better relationships, more fulfilling relationships in our life? Well, we work on ourselves. And the first step to improve your relationships is awareness. First, the awareness that people don't do anything to us. They react according inner parameters, and they act and react based on their beliefs and all kinds of models that they have internalized, mostly as kids. Let me give you an example. Let's say someone feels beautiful and she goes in the street and a lot of people are looking at her. If you feel beautiful, you're gonna think, people are looking at me because I'm beautiful. Now, if you don't feel beautiful and people are looking at you, you are going to go directly to a reaction of something is wrong with me. And that's how our inner parameters will trigger a reaction in us. Another example, if at work you're making a mistake and your supervisor or somebody above you is pointing it out to you, and you're not confident about your talents and abilities, you're gonna right away be afraid. You're gonna right away beat yourself up inside and think that maybe you're gonna get fired, or you're gonna take it out of proportion. That's how our inner parameters are interacting with messing up our thoughts when they are not the right ones. And the other thing is about awareness that you really need to stay aware of. Relationships are a dance. I'm not sure that people, I don't know. Maybe I should go back to my private, personal page. I may do that because that's strange. Every Sunday I have people. All continue. They can always look back. So the second awareness that we need to have is that relationships are a dance, and it's never on one side only. If something, I'm sorry, let me go back to my computer and go back on my page, on my professional page, so I can see better, bigger than on the phone, because it's always so hard to see. Let me go back to my computer and go back on my page. Way to mess up. So, awareness that relationships are a dance, and that it's never on one side only, and that the way you perceive the other person is going to impact the way you're going to act with them, the energy that you're going to radiate when you're in front of them. And we pick up on stuff and clues on a subconscious level and on an energy level, and the way they're going to react to you. Some people are very open, and I know when I went to France and I thought, because I grew up there, I thought that people were really formal there. At the time I was married, and my ex-husband didn't have this preconceived idea because he grew up here in America. And wherever we were going, I was observing people reacting to him in a way that surprised me completely, because they were open, they were smiling. So it came from me. Hi, Emily in Israel. It came from me. The way you perceive and the preconceived ideas that you have about whomever you interact with is going to impact their reaction and the way they perceive you. So that's to keep in the first key of to improve your relationships. And Emily, I was talking about the awareness, which is the first key to improve your relationship. Awareness about the fact that you impact the reaction of other people based on how you perceive them internally, and the awareness that no one is doing anything to us. They are acting with their inner parameters. So to approach, let's say you're going to have a discussion with your husband or with a coworker, with someone, to approach the person with an energy that will encourage harmony instead of conflict or tension. There is an exercise that I would like to share now, and that I am doing when I know I'm going to have, especially when I know I'm going to have a difficult conversation. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 things that you love about that person. And if it's your significant other, your husband or your wife, you can go back to the beginning when you fell in love with the person. What did you love? Or now, even during your time with that person, try to gather some stuff that you like. Try to focus during the days. I know it's not easy to remember, but once you will start this practice, it will become easier. Try to observe what you like about the way that this person is behaving, about who this person is in the world and with you or with your kids, or if it's a friend, with your other friends, whomever is the person, depending on the circumstances and the situation. That's a very powerful exercise, because then when you come into the interaction, you come from love, and that can be felt. We feel love is transcending. I know it's a cliche, but it's true. It's totally true. So the second key to having fulfilling relationships in your life is compassion. And to practice compassion and have understanding of the other person on a heart level, the exercise I just shared is amazing. Just focusing on what you love about the other person, focusing on remembering when they do something you don't like, that we always become defensive or aggressive when we have a wounding that has been activated. It's not against us. Nothing is against us. The same way that we don't, in general, intently try to hurt. Nobody tries to hurt us. They are just reacting to their own things, internal parameters, and they're trying to protect themselves. It's the subconscious in action. Remember also about compassion. Life is like a school. We came here to learn lessons. And the people around us are our teachers. I'm going to drink a sip of coffee because my throat is itchy. And it's Sunday morning, breakfast time for me. That's better. So everyone that comes in our life is a teacher. And the ones who trigger us, I'm talking about a spiritual level, of course. The ones who triggers us the most may well be our biggest spiritual allies, because they agree to come here and put themselves in a situation that is not in their favor, because we don't like how they interact with us, we don't like their personalities sometimes, and they chose a role that is not easy. So you're not supposed to, let's say that it's someone that's really, really triggering you and annoying you. It doesn't mean you need to stay exposed to what they're doing to you and not just accept. You can react, but react remembering that they're doing that for you in a way, to make you grow. So what I practice myself with people, that I have people around me that can trigger me in 30 seconds. We all have those people in our life. I sometimes sit down and I bypass their personality. I focus on the fact that we are allies on a spiritual level, and I thank the spiritual part of them. If you want to call it their souls, whatever you want to call it, I focus on that and I thank it to help me grow. And I also ask from the universe, the divine, to help me master that lesson, because until you master a lesson, you're going to find it again and again in different aspects. It's like a spiral. You master something and then you go up and you master the next level, like a video game. So it's crucial that we remember that way we can master the lessons and it's not an issue anymore. Plus, relationship where you can overcome a challenge together, they become stronger. So keep that in mind. And another side of compassion in the relationships is to have compassion for yourself. Because we don't always behave and react in the way we would like to. We like to think that we're good people and all that. Everybody has a side of darkness, a shadow side. And sometimes we react in ways that we don't like. Sometimes we become someone that we don't like in a relationship. And that energy is in us and we don't like that. And this is something that we need to forgive. This is something that, of course, try not to do that again, but forgive ourselves for. Because it doesn't help when you resist something and you resist loving yourself. The first step to love another is to love yourself. If you can forgive yourself, you can forgive others more easily. That's a key. So that's the other side of the second key of having of improving all your relationships, compassion. The third key, and I better hurry up, it's 9:17. The third key about improving all your relationships is, I'm going to come back on self-love. Practice self-love to feel better about yourself, so you're not triggered as much. If somebody tells you, let's say somebody tells you that you're mean, and you know you're not, there is less chances that you're going to get triggered by that, because you're in your truth. You know it's only their perception. And to be able to be at peace, always do your best. Always do your best. And second, stop any criticism. Because if you do your best, there is no room for criticism. That's only what you can do. And again, going back to compassion, you can only do what you can do at this level in your life. So always focus on being your best. And my last tool, a tool that I love, that I practice myself, that I give to my clients, and it has amazing results, it's affirmations. And preferably in front of a mirror, like Louise Hay style, the queen of affirmations. The brain learns by emotion and repetition. That's how we learn when we're kids, and that's how we still learn when we're adults. The only way you're going to change your subconscious is if you feel emotions and repetitions. And sometimes if it's something very strong, emotion in one shot, that would change you. But when we're talking about affirmations, do it every day for at least a month, at least 21 days. And I also always say, do it for 40 days. Every morning, in front of the mirror, look at yourself in your eyes and say, I love you with your name. So I would do it, I love you, Murielle. At the beginning, you're going to feel a resistance, because I see it's the most difficult thing to do for every person I coached. Either people are in full resistance and they're like, no, I'm not doing it. Or they start having a laugh that's canceling what they just did, because they feel embarrassed about it, because they don't feel it. We are not taught to love ourselves. And I'm not talking about arrogance or vanity. I'm talking about deep, true love. Like if you were loving a sister, a friend, a child, because in you there is a little child that craves for that love. Since no parent is perfect and no parent gave us the love that we wish we had, even us as parents, we're not perfect. So look at yourself in the mirror and say, I love you with your name, at least 3 times. And notice the resistance in your body. I'm going to do a video on YouTube about doing that while tapping, because tapping is excellent to change the brain wiring as well, because it intercepts the responses in the brain. And if you really, really can't say I love you, you can add at the beginning, I am willing to love you, or I open to love you. And if you notice that when you do that, you go to the, oh, I have a wrinkle here, or the imperfections of your face, stop and say, I love you anyway. Don't underestimate the power of that exercise, because it's so simple. It is extremely powerful. Affirmations have been proved effective now for years. Like I was saying, Louise Hay has been doing that for years, and she changed many lives. This is a tool that is easy to practice. You can practice anywhere, and it will make a huge difference. When you pass in front of a mirror, wherever you are in a store, send yourself some love. We usually catch the imperfection right away, say, oh my God, how do I look today? Let go of that. Let go of that self-criticism. That's something you don't want in your life. So those were my advices for today. And even though we're talking about us, we are impacting all the relationships in your life, because everything starts with us and ends with us. It's all a question of perception. And when your perception changes, and when you come from a different angle, the other person will feel it. The world will feel it. You will radiate something different. If you watch as a replay viewer and you have questions, don't hesitate to put comments under. I will answer them. If you have questions when you watch live, you can also ask them. I can see them. And I hope it helped. You can share that with your friends if it helps, because I really want to spread the message. And I'm doing that, like I said, every week. I usually have more live viewers. It's the first time I'm doing it from my professional page, so I don't know if it's changing anything. Maybe I need to go and read the conditions in Facebook, maybe. If you want more tips, tools, and be part of the giveaways that I give to my tribe, go on my website, ashappyasafrenchwoman.com, and join my tribe, because I regularly give free stuff to my tribe, and there are things like the schedules for my free workshops or the schedules for my classes that I share only through email. So until we see each other next week at 9 o'clock in the morning here, Pacific time, I wish you a fulfilling week with amazing relationships. Love you. And thank you. Thank you. As usual, I'm having trouble to switch that thing off. Oh, goodness. Oh, finish here.